It's a great day for hockey here in Blaine, Minnesota. My name is Eric Zamora, bringing you the play-by-play of this afternoon's matchup of the 2023 North American Female Elite Showcase. And we are in the 2008 birth year, or the U15 division. It's going to be the Western Selects in white taking on Pro Hockey in blue. Thanks for joining us here on Youth Hockey Hub. And quickly, let's go over the starting lineups. We'll have an opportunity to get into the records and how they got here, but want to try to get this out before the drop of the puck if we can. In blue, Pro Hockey is going to go with Samantha Besner, number 33, in between the pipes. Defensively, they will go with 88, Cassandra Randell, as well as number 7, Lily Farrago. Starting line, Bella Viskowitz on wing, alongside May Helm, centered by Jillian Klein. The Pro Hockey squad comes in with a record of 3-0-0, as we do keep track of overtime wins and overtime losses, and they will skate left to right. This is going to be controlled by Selects. It's Rotman going back to the defense. We'll get into the Western Selects starting lineup here in just a moment. Picked up by Jillian Klein. Watch out for her. She leads her squad in both goals and points, 7 and 2 for 9 in just 3 games played. So averaging over 2 goals a game and 3 points a contest so far in this tournament. She's a big reason that her squad is 3-0 and looking to move on to the championship. This will be controlled by the Selects. Darting over to the side. Nice little move there by Petrino, and she'll get in deep and head off for a change. Pro Hockey looking to break out. We do play full 20-minute periods, 19:16 on the clock, as Helm finds it at her skate, kicks it to herself, and feeds back Natalie Wu. Good idea, going backwards to eventually go forwards. Gigi Martin brings it on the left side, and then she'll get down below the goal line herself. Typically, you see the defenseman want to stay a little bit closer to the blue line, but she activates and is covered nicely. That's a handoff, and they'll feed it over to the right side. Falling as she was trying to pull the trigger was Jacqueline Gassot. That'll settle down for Martin. Now with it, backhanding it in deep is Gassot, and we have to be careful as there's a couple of them, both Jacqueline and Elle. I believe they're twins, but I'm not sure if they're just happen to have the same last name. In the slot, a shot never gets through. Friendly fire, as it was actually blocked by a teammate, Jillian McLaughlin, who'll end up with that hitting her equipment. Stays in the zone. Trying to dangle with it there was Wu. Lost her numeral there for a moment as the hair kind of covered it up. And as we've got an opportunity, we'll talk about how not all of the Pro Hockey members wearing the exact same jersey. Some of them have the white stripe across the chest. Some of them it's just all blue, very Toronto Maple Leafs-esque. This is fed up to the left side, and Stock will get it and stays with it. Looked like she was going to be rubbed out of the play on her backhand. Wanted to center it, just had nobody in the slot. Backing up is Burkett, as it's brought up with speed by Claire Jelinek. Stripped away at neutral ice. A nice drag there, and I think a good no call. Yes, the player did get tangled up, but not a lot of contact there. Certainly couldn't have faulted the official had they blown that play dead, but I think it's best to... There's a center pass out front, and a premature celebration as Kira Shin thought she had a goal there. It rolled up the right leg pad of Besner, and she was able to have the wherewithal, find it. Now it's a 2-on-1 the other way. Pro Hockey coming in. Looking for a centering pass was Swan. Does eventually get it across, but misses the target. Fed down low. Swan races after it. She'll settle it down. Easy to pick out as most of the players wearing either black or blue breezers. She's got kind of a little bit of a green stripe up the side and exiting. And a good idea there, as it was sent from left to right by Shin. So instead of just forcing it all the way down and getting caught with a icing call, she exits left to right. A shot knocked down by the netminder. Standing tall there was Rivera, even in the butterfly, and this will be tracked down by the defenseman Miner. Ashley Miner, despite the fact that she is playing the blue line, has 3 goals and 4 points in the tournament, so an offensive threat as a rear guard. This will be sent up high to the top of the umbrella. Punched back down low. Didn't need to see the numeral to realize that was Swan, as I'd pointed out, with the off-color green stripe going up the side. She'll head off for a change. Here comes Stock. She is met by Sydney Hermanson and kept to the side. We have had over 4 minutes of play without a whistle here, no score, as Pro Hockey and Western Selects battle. Pro Hockey makes that breakout pass. Now they've got a 2-on-2 as they gain the zone. Sliding around, looking for an outlet was, I believe, Klein. Klein with it, feeds it over to the far side, and she'll do her due diligence and cover for the left defenseman. Tracked down behind the cage and looking to make a move with it was McIntosh. This will be played down, but not enough for icing. Farrago will skate onto it. She is hounded by Bridget Dowd, applying pressure and forechecking. Now it's Helm with it. Finds a lane and gets it ahead. Here comes Klein. Klein feeds it over. A shot and a big stop, and we've got our first whistle. Klein with a great backhand feed and then goes over and lets her line mate know, hey, we may not have capitalized there, but we keep doing things like that, we're gonna have some success. The Western Selects come in with a record of 0-2-1-0, 2 regulation losses, a victory in overtime, good for 2 points, and that puts them right now in the 4th spot in the B side, or the Pool B, as this is picked up by Shin. Shin early on looked like she was going to light the lamp, although it wouldn't have been a forceful one, probably would have just barely gotten over the line and wouldn't have trickled the back of the net, but a big stop early on by Besner. Unfortunately, the one thing I can say is Youth Hockey Hub does a fantastic job of putting up the stats for us so that we can prep. Unfortunately, don't have a breakdown of the goaltenders' save percentage, goals against average, because I'm not sure who played in which games earlier, but obviously the Pro Hockey squad has had a lot of success, as they're 3-0 and have given up just 7 goals, so about a 2.33 goals against average in their contests. Looking to dish and trying to bob and weave through traffic was McIntosh. She was stripped of it, and this will be held in at the point by Gigi Martin. Sent out to Shin. Shin battles, got tangled up there with Gasso. It has the length for icing, but they'll say it was deflected, and we'll keep the program running. Long outlet pass. There's a good decision there by the official. No, the forward didn't get a piece of it, but with 2 players there, they say Western Selects either did touch it, or I think more likely missed it, but had the opportunity. This is an icing. It'll bring things back down into the Western Selects end, and it gives us an opportunity to talk about the starting lineup. Reagan Rivera in between the pipes, her top D unit, Maria Payne and Stella Petrino. There's a shot just off the mark, as spinning and firing was Annika Stock. They went with Callie Rotman and Annabelle Green as the starting wings, and Mackenzie Williams down the middle. Into the corner we go. Dugout, and right now Western Selects have kind of been pinned in their own end for a while, just looking to get an exit. This will be controlled by Gomez. Rims it around the boards, stays in the zone. Right now the Pro Hockey squad just trying to apply pressure, keep their foot on the gas pedal, and see if they can't wear down this Western Select squad. That will be carved out, go the length of the ice, and we will once again have icing against Western Selects. For Pro Hockey, on Thursday over on Rink 2, they played at 8:45 and were victorious over Saskatoon by a score of 4-2. Last night, also on rink 2, they were victorious over the Manitoba All-Stars by a score of 5-2. They were on this rink earlier this morning at 8 o'clock as they were victorious over the BC Capitals by a score of 8-3. They play their second game here on rink 5, and they hope to play their final game of the tournament back here as well, as that is where the 2008 U15 championship matchup would be, as they try to represent Pool B in that title game. There's a pass fed to the point and to Helm, but that one just slipped around, or actually looked like under her stick. Checking over both shoulders was Randall. She sees pressure, and Klein aids to the rescue. Here's Martin looking to get out of the zone. It's turned over. Stolen by Gillis, then stolen right back again. Turnabout being fair play. Flown up, and this will be touched up by the Selects. Woo, we're going to have contact here, and that will be the first penalty of the contest. It comes at the 8-minute and 43-second mark. Roughing will be the call. So a power play opportunity here for the Western Selects. Gillis leads the team in points on the weekend. Shin and Williams are tied for the team lead in goals. The guilty party is Randall. And behind the cage, the Western Selects kind of set up for a moment. I can tell you that, as it doesn't always seem to make sense, but sometimes goaltenders really don't like there being a lot of time with the puck behind their own net, because it forces them to hug one post, and then regarding which way it comes out, you've got to be on complete opposite sides of the net. Some of those sharp angle ones seem like they should be easy to handle. Here's Williams. Williams didn't get all that she wanted on that offering. Then one hand on the stick. Brute strength shown there by Jacqueline Gassot to get that up into neutral ice. A nice little bob and weave there. And then looking to back up the play was Viskevitz, who I've seen both listed as 87 and 13. Looks like she's wearing the 13 numeral today. A shot, rise or just up and over the crossbar. Short-handed bid for pro hockey. Clangs off the glass. Still 36 seconds left on the man advantage. Fed ahead, Viskowitz had that one just roll on her. Back the other way, leading the charge. And dispossessed of it was Shin. She'll get tangled up, but she tried to feed Carasetto down below the goal line. Offering off the side of the frame by Stella Petrino. That one clangs off of the framework of the net. 8 seconds left before out of the box comes Randall. And it looks like Pro Hockey is going to survive this scare, and they'll feed it ahead. This will be tipped away from the intended target. And for a moment, Rivera thought about coming out of the net. Instead, she will stay put in the paint. McIntosh was the person who was trying to find that loose puck. Shot in the slot, steered away. Woo, with a great look there. She'll track it down below the goal line. Woo, comes away with it. Backhands it deep. McIntosh. Centering pass out front. Intended target was stopped. They couldn't find a lane to her. 8:50 left to go in a scoreless affair, and tripping will be the call here, and we will once again have a power play opportunity. We are set up on the south end of Rink 5 here at the Schwann Super Rink, the home of the Bethel Royals, a local private Christian college. And now an opportunity with the man advantage. Go blue as Pro Hockey sets up. Woo. Sends it out front, tipped out of midair. Great hand-eye coordination play by Claire Jelinek and she is able to get it out to neutral ice, but has her pocket picked by Sydney Burkett. With it, a pass across the bow from Wu. This will be played down the length of the ice. Bessner elects to stay in her crease and doesn't want to play that, as nobody but blue jerseys around. No reason for her to get involved. A nice toe drag, firing the shot. A big stop and then a collision there. Friendly fire, as knocked down was Rivera. I don't think there'll be anything out of this. I think it's just the blue liner skating back, trying to defend, and didn't look like she was pushed or corralled into her own netminder. Just desperately trying to keep the puck out of the net. Ends up tangling up with Rivera, but everybody seems to be no worse for the wear. And with 8:01 left to go in our opening frame and 72 seconds left on the penalty to Francesca Amico. Gathered by the Western Selects. Nice move to get out of the zone and further. Screaming up is Williams. She tried to dance through 3 different players, and through that Bermuda triangle of bodies was dispossessed, then gets called for roughing. And we're gonna have 56 seconds of 5-on-3 here. Initially didn't see the official's hand go up immediately, and I'm not one to worry about that as much. Sometimes I feel like fans get really upset if there's a little bit of a delay, and then they say, oh, well, they didn't see that cleanly at first. Why did they go back? And I like an official taking an extra half second to process what they saw and decide if they think it was or not a penalty. Farrago tries to go upstairs, short side, glove side on the netminder, and didn't miss by much. Setting up were a couple of players in the slot. Farrago decides that she needs to back up, and she'll track this one down in her own zone. This will be left off on a handoff from Bessner. With speed, they'll slide it over to the right side. Carving through was Swan. Stripped of it. And coming away with it is Jelinek. Jelinek has 2 to get around and does get a shot off, although not a shot on goal, as that hit the side of the net, but a good opportunity to kill some valuable time. And out of the box comes Amico. We're now, what a save! As a floater of a shot by Stock ends up going with kind of a changeup on the offering, and it looked like it was going to go up and over the crossbar and duck under, and Rivera uses her glove to bat it away. The play does stay in the zone, but right into the breadbasket of Rivera. She'll hold on, and that is going to fire up the team in white, as they are now 44 seconds away from killing off back-to-back penalties and getting out of a precarious situation early in this contest. 6:29 to be precise, left in period number 1. Fed back to the point. Here's Martin with an offering, tipped. As Klein got a piece of it, it eventually goes wide. Martin unable to keep that in the zone. She's going to be pressured. Reaching in was Amico, fresh out of the box. Klein makes the handoff, snapping the shot, but it's off the mark. I believe that was Stock who pulled the trigger. Gillis getting tangled up. She's helped out by Amico. Klein finally settles it down, kicks it to herself, and that'll be tipped in by Viskovitz. Bodies starting to pile up on that far side boards. And again, Western Selects able to send it to the length of the ice without icing being called, as they were shorthanded. Now it's 5-on-5 once again. Finding that was Randall, that's Helm. Centering pass, broken up, never got through. We do have a penalty behind the play, and body checking will be called with 5 minutes and 31 seconds left to go in period number 1. Pro Hockey out shooting Western Selects by a 6-1 differential, and having 2 penalties called, having those 2 penalties overlapping by, I believe it was about 53 seconds. So a 5-on-3 advantage, and then now going back on the power play kind of aids Pro Hockey in setting up something of a shooting gallery on Rivera. Whistling one wide was Viskovich. That is found in the equipment of Martin. She'll keep the zone. Pressured by a couple of different players. And then that'll be kicked out beautifully, as losing her twig trying to pressure Martin was Jelinek. And sometimes you see players who are able to kick it to themselves but can't really kick it for distance. That one might have gotten all the way into pro hockey's defensive third. This is sent around. Payne comes away with it. Payne has options and a great hand-eye coordination play to pick off that pass by Klein, and they kept it in the zone for a moment. Now at neutral ice. A little bit of a hack there, but because Williams didn't get clean contact, they're not going to call that. Also, a little bit harder of a call to sell when her squad is shorthanded. You do get a little bit of a benefit of the doubt there. A puck that was just tipped by Natalie Wu. You could see as it was going, it didn't change the direction much, but just enough, and we've got an offside call here with 4:07 left to go in our opening period. My name is Eric Zamora, bringing you play-by-play. Tom Ritchie is our camera operator, our engineer, and our producer for this Youth Hockey Hub production. Gillis on the face-off, but it's controlled instead by Pro Hockey. McIntosh runs into McLaughlin and then runs into Wu. So a little teammate-on-teammate crime there, as trying to step around was Jillian McLaughlin. She's stripped of it, and it's sent down the length of the ice. That'll be left there for Ashley Miner. Miner goes from left to, I was gonna say right to left, but more right to center, and it was picked off, sent down by Shin. Gotta be happy if you're Western Selects, as they have killed off their third penalty already, and against the so far top team in Pool B, you look at it as often, this one's thrown towards the net and sticked away by Besner. They say, you know, it's a good period if it's 0-0 and you're the away team. There's a blocker save made by the netminder. I'd also say the same thing when you're taking on the team that has the best goal differential and is undefeated through 3 plays. A bad collision there, and really nothing that either side could do. One player trying to get around, the other had the opportunity to go to that space. And I don't think anything was called initially. There may have been some retaliation, or is this simply a hand pass? So it looks like the draw is going to come just outside the blue line. Both sides kind of working everything out with personnel who should be there where this draw is. Williams takes the face-off against Swan. Played deep into Western Select's territory. Farrago with the outlet pass finds Cedar Swan. A shot, but it doesn't get through. Petrino put herself between the puck and the net, and it ticks off of her shin guard, played deep. Nice dangle there by Stock. Stock cuts around, but is still being hounded. Stock can't find the shot. It eventually goes out to Swan. Swan turns, fires, right pad save, and another. 2:10 left to go in the first. And Western Selects weathering the storm. They'd like to apply a little more pressure on Pro Hockey, but to this point, they'll take it, and unable to hold the line was Annika Stock, trying to drag that back skate and ended up being off balanced, fell forward, obviously, and that causes the offside with 2:01 left to go. 7-3 shots on goal, favoring Pro Hockey. Pro Hockey is 0 for 3 on the power play. Western Selects 0 for 1. Tapped around the bend by Jelinek. Skated onto by Dowd. Dowd now trying to get out of the way of Jelinek. Jelinek gains the line. Curls from left to right. It's stripped away. A 2-on-2 if they hurry, but there is a back checker getting involved in Dowd. Left-handed or backhanded effort there by the southpaw shooting player. It kicks out for Gassot. Gassot skates right through the middle of the BU logo at center ice. Drop pass and kind of hit two players, and sometimes it's better to hit one than two because they might tangle up each other. 70 seconds left to go in the opening frame. Still no score. Swan with a nice toe drag, stays with it, fires a shot, and the netminder made the save, wasn't quite sure where it was, and I thought it was going to go up and over the net. I don't have the greatest depth angle here, but it actually kicked out right in front of the net, and fortunately for Rivera, her Western Selects teammates able to get that out of harm's way. Pressure there by Amico. This will slowly trickle out for Hermanson. Sydney Hermanson banks that ahead. Amico overskates it for a moment, but comes back. Had to bob and weave through traffic. This is going to be a tripping call called on Bella Viskovits, and I don't think there was any intent there, but you are responsible for your stick, and in this case, you're also responsible for your skate. She kind of stepped out of her lane and into the lane of an attacking player who had a scoring opportunity, and they're going to call the trip with 26.7 left in the frame. So, very likely, unless Western Selects can put something together real quick here, that penalty is potentially going to, well, hold everything. There's a glove save made on Williams, but as I was finishing that thought with 18 seconds left to go, good chance that this is going to roll into period number 2. Want to point out, period number 2 will come right after this one. We'll just take a quick 60-second break. I'll step away from the mic, but we'll keep the action here. A redirection twice, and it was nearly an own goal as that was offered up at the point by Alicia Gomez. Williams fires, glove save made by the netminder, then she will release it in order to prevent there needing to be one last face-off, and the first period comes to an end. 8-5 shots on goal favoring Pro Hockey, but Western Selects comes back with 94 seconds of a power play opportunity. We'll step away from the mic for just a moment, but again, we'll be back in 60 seconds. You're watching the 2023 North American Female Elite Showcase on Youth Hockey Hub. Welcome back to the Schwann Super Rink here in Blaine, Minnesota. My name is Eric Zamora, bringing you the play-by-play of the last of the pool play games for these two squads, Western Selects and Pro Hockey. We are in the 2008 division, or the U15 division, of the 2023 North American Female Elite Showcase. And if you're just joining us, Western Selects in the white jerseys with Navy numerals outlined in red, Navy names, red breezers with Navy and white socks, and they will skate left to right. They're on a power play, and Klein will send this deep. The Pro Hockey squad not all wearing the exact same jerseys, but close enough. They are in royal blue with white names and numerals, some of them with the white stripe across the chest, some of them with the maple leaf logo there. Predominantly blue or black breezers, and predominantly the blue socks with a white stripe. They go from right to left. 19:22 left to go in period number 2. This one is popped up and into the netting and out of play. 54 seconds left on the penalty that was called to Pro Hockey's Bella Viskovits. 2 goals and 3 points in her first 3 games in this tournament. Pro Hockey is yet to taste anything but anything but a victory, as they were victorious over Saskatoon 4-2, Manitoba All-Stars 5-2, and then their most recent victory was actually just this morning, as obviously you're trying to fit in as many games as possible in a short time. That was an 8-3 victory over the BC Capitals. Short-handed, they kill some valuable time setting up behind the cage. Spinning, firing, they get tangled up. No call, and I think that's the right no call. 22 seconds left on the man advantage. There's a drive, and that one ended up being a little bit of a softer, quirkier shot than I thought it was going to be, but it is knocked down by the netminder Rivera. Hit off the top right of the logo on her chest, and she covers up with the catcher. Pro Hockey redirected on beautifully. The good news for Western Selects, they're making a couple of big saves here. The bad news, they're hoping to be down at the east end of the rink right now, because they are on the power play, but short-handed. Pro Hockey dialing up a couple of good looks. Now it's Western Selects looking to break out across the red line, across the blue line. Knifed away by Farrago into the corner, dug back out by Shin. They'll feed to the point. There's a shot through traffic, and it whistles wide. Centering pass. It hit off something out front. I don't know if that was a Western Selects player or a Pro Hockey player, but a toe save made by Besner. And not to take anything away from her, but I don't think that was a reactionary save. I think she just put herself in the best position, trying to take up as much real estate as possible, and that puck caromed to the very edge of her left pad. The face-off will come to her left, or her glove side. Mackenzie Williams will take it for Western Selects to the point, and it squirts away from Hermanson. Good pressure there, and just onside. Timing worked out. With it is Martin. Gigi Martin tries to thread the needle. Did hit McIntosh with a pass, but she had a player hounding her to strip that away. And that being Annabelle Green, who helped break that up. Outlet pass to Rotman. That squirts through. Here's Green. Green has Williams with her and drops it off to her. Williams lost an edge. Stick save made by the netminder, who had the pad there as plan B. Didn't end up using it, as the twig did all the work. Williams is going to be chased down and pressured by Wu. Wu forechecks. Williams comes away with it. Finds a lane, but misses on the pass, and it's picked off by Gassot. Jacqueline Gassot slips through some would-be deterrents. Sent out from left to right, but it will have enough for icing. Yes, it does. And I'll be honest, I was a little surprised there. I thought they might have waved it off, saying that they felt Martin could have taken a more direct path and skated with a little bit more urgency. But the officials will warrant the icing, and that'll bring it back down in the Western Selects end. 9-6 shots on goal, favoring Pro Hockey, but that number is starting to even out, as at one point it was 6-1 in favor of the squad in blue. Turned over, and Swan making some moves but couldn't find an outlet. This is picked off. Western Selects going the other way. Across the line and clean. It's brought in by Gillis. Gillis gets tangled up, but is able to poke that around the edge for Whitkin. Kaya Whitkin gets involved in the play. Backing up is the defenseman Payne. Swan slips around her, but has to give up the angle in order to do so. Had to be in the very southwest corner. Miner keeps it alive, fires the shot, and a good heads-up play by the player down to get out of the way. Obviously, A, she didn't want to get hit. B, she didn't want to block what could have been a goal. And trying to snap a shot was that player, El Gasso. This kicks out, and Stock now with it. Stock makes the easy play to Burkett. Burkett pokes at it a second time. Quickly getting it out was Whitkin. Swan is hounded by a back-checking Amico. There'll be a cover-up with 4.5 minutes exactly gone by here in period number 2. Unlike the first intermission, the second one will have that resurfacing, so we'll have a little bit more time in between. If you're watching at home, give you the opportunity to run to the restroom, run to the kitchen, and make yourself something to snack on. But this one is shaping up to be a good one. No score here, as we've had over 24 minutes gone by in this contest. And this puck is kept alive by Cassandra Randall. Big collision behind the goal line, but everybody seemed to be all right coming out of it, and the officials will say play on. Sent right back in by Randall. Around the bend it comes. I believe that was Amico on the backhand exit out to neutral ice. Staying with it, Viskovitz feeds Klein. Now Randall snaps a shot. It pinballs off of a player on the backside, and it's going to be put in on the back door. Scoring the goal for Pro Hockey is Mayhelm. That is her first of the weekend, and it gives the Pro Hockey squad a 1-0 lead. We'll have to listen in and see who they end up crediting with the assists, if at all. Second period goal comes at 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Helm with her second point of the weekend, and I believe this is going to end up being from Klein and Viskovitz, but we'll find out here in just a matter of moments. So it is indeed Viskovitz and Klein with the helpers. And now it is Wu bringing it up and trying to get around an adversary wearing the same numeral. And that is Claire Jelinek. A tangle there as Jelinek gets tied up with Shin, and Wu got a piece of it, so that negates icing. Wu stays with it on the backhand effort and scores. A slow start on the scoring, but back-to-back goals by Pro Hockey. This one comes at the 6-minute 12-second mark. And for Natalie Wu, that is her first of the tournament, and it puts Pro Hockey on top by a score of 2-0. Martin plays it ahead. McLaughlin will come away with it. They call it unassisted. Honestly, I thought that outlet pass would eventually be credited as well, but they're saying that somewhere in there Wu lost possession but then gained it back. So it's Wu unassisted and Pro Hockey out on top, snapping a shot. That one hit off of the side of the cage. Not a great vantage point for us here on the south side, but you could see both the angle it came off of the cage as well as the sound. Now, going down the middle, firing a shot, and a big stop made by Rivera. That was McIntosh who lifted and elevated that shot, Blocker save made by the goaltender to keep this a 2-goal affair. Played deep on Pro Hockey, and with 12:43, the squad in blue, who I believe hails from Montreal, or is based out of there. A lot of times the players coming from different areas. This is going to be picked up by Payne. Payne feeds it over. That one hits off of the glass that would have protected a Pro Hockey player had they been in the sin bin, but right now the penalty box is empty. Coming away with it is Stock. Stock has a player in Gassot that she tries or had an option to feed. She elects to take the shot herself on the backhand, and it was a big stop by Rivera to keep that one out. Now a partial breakaway by Gillis. Gillis will partially be caught, taken down, and the officials say play on. Nice play there to get back and hustle back, coming straight off of the bench. A change there. 11:56 left to go in period number 2. And we will have a offensive zone restart for Western Selects. Minor up the left wing side with speed. Kept to the corner by Payne. Does eventually find Stock. They try to feed the blue line and keep that in unsuccessfully. Chipped ahead, and now with it is Stock. Stock stripped of it at the last possible moment. Had her pocket picked right at the blue line. This is going to be an effort where Western Selects is outmanned, but Dowd going ahead furiously. A collision there, bumped off of it is Stock. Staying with it, Western Selects feed it down low. Burkett banks it off of the back kick plate. Kind of an empty dasher there. With it is Burkett. Burkett did not see Shin coming in from her right side, and Shin applies some pressure. Petrino was heading off for a change, got tangled up there with Swan, and those two exchange words as well as a little bit of contact, but nothing warranting a whistle. We're 41 seconds away from the halfway point of regulation. Slipping away is Jelinek. Swan centering pass over for Gassot. Stock on the back door. They tried the old pass off the pads, and a good job controlling the rebound was Rivera. Rivera started to go over to her left, now back to her right, now over to the left, but no shot coming. We do have a delayed call. I think this might be goaltender interference. Hustling down is Rivera, and just as she gets to the open door, it is touched up by Pro Hockey, but a power play opportunity coming nonetheless. 10-12 left to go in period number 2. It'll be opportunity number 3 for Western Selects. Both teams have yet to convert on a power play opportunity. This will be the 6th of the contest for the two teams combined. Centering a pass, doesn't get through. Defended well by Farrago. Played down the length of the ice. Checking over her shoulder is Petrino. Strength shown there by Rivera. And then there's going to be some pushing and shoving after the whistle. A look at the schedule for tomorrow in the 2008 U15s. The 9th place game will be at 8 in the morning. The 7th place game at 10:15. The 5th place game at 12:30. And the 3rd place game at 2:45. All of those games over on Rink 2. Back here at Rink 5 at 10:45 in the morning will be the championship between the top seeded team in Pool A and Pool B. And last we checked, as there's a shorthanded bid that was off the mark, Team Minnesota in control on the Pool A side. They are 3-0 with 9 points. This is turned over. Here's Klein. Klein can't find a shot. as she was converged on from both sides. They'll feed this ahead. Here's Gillis. Gillis poked that ahead. It kicked off of Randall. Carving around was Jelinek, and they'll get it out. And excuse me, that was Viskovitz who got that ahead for Julian, and she plays it down the length of the ice. Stolen away at neutral ice by Gigi Martin. They'll stay with it. Gasso and Pro Hockey had that stolen away. We got a player down at the blue line just as that puck had skated away. A big collision with 8:29 to go, and I don't think we have a penalty called here. I didn't see the officials indicating they are conversing now. I think the play was just blown dead because of concern for the player, especially where she was in a potentially vulnerable spot. We'll take a quick step away from the mic. We'll be back in just a moment right here on Youth Hockey Hub. Welcome back with us here to the 2023 North American Female Elite Showcase here on Rink 5 at the Schwann Super Rink. And the player down for Western Selects, Kaya Witkin, good to see her able to get up and get up on her own accord. Did have a, I'm not sure if that was an assistant coach or, I believe assistant coach or otherwise an athletic trainer, kind of there for a conversation, make sure that she was good to go, and maybe in case halfway from the skate back to the bench needed some assistance, but fortunately she didn't. Here's Jelinek. Jelinek snaps a shot, and it was slowed down by Jacqueline Gasso, eventually covered up by Samantha Besner. We will not know who the top team in Pool A will be until later tonight. Team Minnesota, with a record of 3-0, takes on Team West Canada. Team West Can with a record of 2-1. So if they were to defeat Team Minnesota, would not only have the same record, but would have the head-to-head tiebreaker. But Team Illinois also with a record of 2-1. So if they were to win and Team West Can would win, both of those in regulation, then it would set up a three-way tie, and then we'd go to goal differential. But probably getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, as right now this side just worried about how things shape up on the B side. Center on the cage by Rivera, tangled up at the skates of Chloe Julian. Green will wait patiently as Williams buzzes by the tower. Now Green will find the loose puck from a tough angle, stays with it for a hot second. Looked like Sydney Hermanson was going to come in and take over possession. Here's Gomez with a couple of pokes to keep the Pro Hockey side at bay. Long outlet pass intended for McLaughlin. I think she got a piece of it, but not enough to hold a possession. Green had that one coming in hot. And it's a game of hot potato. Neither team can string together more than a pass or two. McIntosh has that stripped away by Green. She runs into literally Burkett. Burkett will get it deep, and Pro Hockey will head off for a change. Really good for Pro Hockey there. They're able to make that change in the offensive zone, particularly in the second period. You like to make that change in the offensive zone as much as you can, but especially in the period where your bench is furthest from your net that you're defending, because not only are you then closer when you make that change, but the last thing you want to do in the second period is get pinned down in your own zone when you have furthest to make an exchange with personnel. Here's Swan winding through traffic. It's a goal, and it was deflected in. I think that was an inadvertent bounce off of a Western Selects player. Tough to see from my vantage point. I believe this is going to be Swan's second of the tournament, but that puck definitely took a change in altitude, and so it actually could end up being Swan with the assist. We'll find out here in a moment, but I believe this is going to be the second goal and fourth point for Swan, and it is indeed. And Annika Stock picks up the lone assist. Time of the goal, 13 minutes, 56 seconds into period number 2. And Pro Hockey trying to go 4-0, perfect in pool play. And if they do, that would set up a date with them and the winner of Pool A tomorrow morning back here at this rink at 10:45. Couldn't remember if it was 45 or 15. 10:15 over on rink 2 is the 7th place game. And be that a matchup against Team Minnesota, Team West Can, or Team Illinois, that will not be decided until a later time today. Performance Hockey in Illinois Selects, meanwhile, is playing next door on rink 6. They got going about half an hour ago, half an hour after the start of this game. There's a shot into the netminder. I was going to say into her breadbasket, but the Gillis offering was wide of the netminder. She had to slide over and really put her breadbasket into the puck. She holds on to that one, which was just south of the Maple Leaf logo that dawns across her chest. 5:04 left to go in period number 2. And a game that took, we're going to have a roughing call here with 4:59 to play in the second. I was going to say that in a game that took over 25 minutes to find its first goal, it had one 57 seconds later, and then one about 8.5 minutes after the initial goal. And that is how we have gotten to our 3-0 lead for Pro Hockey. Fed to the point. Stick save made by the netminder on the offering from Julian. Sticked aside cleanly, though again, love what I have seen out of Samantha Besner, as it seems like every time she makes a stick save, that's with the backup plan of she also is square with her pads so that in case she were to miss or not hit it cleanly. And remember, early on in this contest, looked like Kira Shin was going to give Western Selects an early 1-0 lead, and a big stop made by Besner. Now here's an opportunity. Here comes Klein. Klein comes in on the forehand, waits, backhand, elevates it, but up and off the mark. I'm not sure if that one was wide, high, or both. It looked like it went over the crossbar, but actually could have gone both over and around. A good opportunity for the leading scorer for Pro Hockey. Stripped away. Now coming in is Rotman, snapping a shot, as Western Select still have 53 seconds left on the penalty to Randall. Klein with it. Sharp angle shot, and same thing we just said about the other netminder. Reagan Rivera with the paddle down, and you could tell, if I was just watching that online and didn't have the volume on, I might have thought, I think that actually hit off of the pad. But you could hear it hitting the stick. Maybe got a piece of the pad as well. But good to have options as a netminder. You want to put as many things between the puck and the net as you can. And there, using a couple of pieces of equipment in sync. And this one skirts away from Burkett. She recovers nicely. Didn't panic at all. And they get the exit. This will be Petrino. She'll make a D-to-D pass and gets it right back from Maria Payne. Miner uses her skate blade to help break that up, and then tipping that was McLaughlin. Stolen away by Gomez. No, excuse me, that's Payne. Payne comes up with speed. Throws it towards the net. Miner deflects it. It goes high, but stays in play. High off the glass. Centering pass. Nobody home. Tipping at that was Gillis. Breakout pass, and now Pro Hockey the other way. Coming up the right wing side. A nice cutback. Great no-look pass between her legs. McLaughlin. I should say not a direct no-look, as she saw her teammate coming out of the corner of her eye, but the actual pass placement was directly on the 6 o'clock on the clock behind her. She couldn't see, and sometimes you just play with players enough. You've got that timing, you know where they're going. Sometimes it's not even I've played with this player that much, but this is where they should be going, and it worked out there. A shot blocked by Shin as she was laying down on the train tracks after the face-off, diving forward to try to break that up. We're back on at 5-on-5. Fanning on the shot was McIntosh. Didn't get much on it. Ended up sending it more sideways. Here's Green. Green across the line. Stripped away. Collision. They'll play on. Bouncing a shot. And another out front. And it's a goal. I believe this is Shin putting it in from Francisca Amico. Time of the goal, 17 minutes, 58 seconds of period number 2. And Western Selects fights back and makes it a 2-goal game. Certainly, you'd like to have positive things going your way as often as possible and get some momentum, but maybe at no more important time of the contest than in between periods 2 and 3, because it's the one time you have to go into the locker room, you have to think about things, and that could be a play that Western Selects goes, it's an opportunity for you to build off of that. Talk about, hey, it's a 2-goal game. We're right back in this. And perhaps try to get some doubts to creep in for Pro Hockey. They have a 3-0 record, but of their 3 victories, there's a centering pass out front. And it looked like Stock may have come back immediately to give them their 3-goal lead once again. Minute 15 left. Second effort and a third. Swan with it, sends it out front. It kicks off a player. The netminder doesn't have her stick now. Rivera pops back up and does grab her twig. But Pro Hockey's 3 victories, 2 of them have been close. Scores of 4-2 and 5-2. There's a rising shot fought off by the netminder. Their lone lopsided affair was against the BC Capitals, 8-3. Stock spun partially, but not enough to warrant a whistle. 20-12 shots on goal favor Pro Hockey. On the back end, Swan stays with it, cuts to the net, dishes, firing upstairs, and the netminder made a blocker save, and she wasn't quite sure where it had gone. Fought off El Gasso's bid to go high, short side, right where the crossbar meets the goalpost. Pro Hockey trying to get out of the zone and will. This one will roll on its side and will not be an icing. Left here for Gillis, closing seconds of the period, 3, 2, and 1. And the horn sounds. Goals all in the second period. For Pro Hockey, it was Helm, Wu, and Swan, and Shin for Western Selects. 3-1 after 2 are in the books. We'll take a timeout, but we'll be back with the third period. You are watching the 2023 North American Female Elite Showcase, specifically the 2008 division, right here on Youth Hockey Hub. Welcome back into the start of the third period. We're at the 2023 North American Female Elite Showcase at the Super Rink in Blaine, Minnesota, specifically Rink 5, home of Bethel University. All 4 goals from the 2 teams scored in period number 2. And with that, Pro Hockey leads Western Selects in the 2008 division by a score of 3-1. Mayhelm from Bella Viskovitz and Jillian Klein to start things out. Puck squirted over to Helm. Viskovitz and Klein were causing so much chaos to the goaltender's right that as the puck squirted over to the left, Helm able to slam that in to a yawning net. Pro Hockey in their blue jerseys with white names and numerals. They'll go left to right here in period number 3, looking for a centering pass. 21-12. Shots on goal favoring Pro Hockey through 2 periods. Nice defensive job there by Maria Payne. This one kicks over for Lily Farrago. Farrago stops on a dime, sends out up the left wing side, and tracked down by Helm, who had the opening goal. Helm feeds back for Klein. Stepping up and looking to keep this play alive. Cutting to the net. Now on the forehand, a shot and it's in. Jacqueline Gassot picks up the goal just 53 seconds into period number 3. It didn't have a ton on it. What it had was the fact that it was coming in from in tight, and Gassot had a lot of different opportunities and options there. She feeds it and throws it up in the right spot. Sometimes it's not the hardest shots. It's the ones put in the best locations, and it kind of kicked in off of Rivera. And Pro Hockey has that 3-goal lead that they had in the second period back. Gassot from Viskovitz, who has her 2nd assist of the contest, both primary helpers, and it's a 4-1 lead. Viskovitz had the primary on Helms to start the scoring. Wraparound attempt stopped by Rivera. Looking to get out of the zone, but blowing a tire was Whitkin. She stays with it, looks to get it up and out of the zone. They will. Martin takes the pass, gets to the red line to the blue line, and skates down low. Gigi Martin, and as soon as I saw that name, I immediately thought of the well-renowned player from Warroad, Minnesota, Gigi Marvin, just a letter difference, as there's a long outlet pass that finds Swan. Swan cuts, waits, fires, and tries to use her opponent as a screen, but Rivera is not fooled. Marvin, after playing at Warroad, went on to play for the University of Minnesota, eventually played a pro hockey career and represented the U.S. on the Olympic squad. Swan will take the draw. It's won by Team Selects, or Western Selects, excuse me. Sent around the bend. Carasetto tried to get involved in the play. Pro Hockey keeps it alive. Burkett down low. Payne now with it, with some speed. Sends it up the right wing side. It's a potential 2-on-1 developing. I believe this is Amico, feeds it over to Shin. Tries to get it back and fought off by Burkett. Shin trying to pounce on a bouncing puck in the slot. Kicks out Pro Hockey. Now we'll have the exit. They'll get this ahead. Giving chases Stock. Stock throwing the twig around, then uses a little bit of leaning on the opponent. Led with the shoulders, but not enough to warrant a whistle for body checking. Here's Amico, who will rim that around the bend. Amico had the assist on Shin's goal. Amiko's first point of the tournament. For Shin, her third, all of them goals, and that puts her all alone at the top of the Western Selects squad. Stock could sense Gomez coming quickly, and even knowing that she was there, still unable to make the play, as converging on her fast was Alicia Gomez. Giving several whacks at that was Green. Covered up by the glove of the netminder. And with 16:06 left in regulation, these two teams will have vested interests in the other games going on, although, to be honest, if Pro Hockey can hold on to this lead, nothing else will matter for them. A regulation victory, and actually a victory of any kind, would get the job done. They are 3 points clear of the Manitoba All-Stars. So all they need is a point to wrap it up, which they would pick up if this game were to go to overtime. So anything but a regulation loss would automatically move Pro Hockey into tomorrow's championship game. Western Selects looking for points as they can reach both Team Saskatchewan and are trying to stay ahead of BC Capitals. There's a tripping call with 15:34 left to go in the second. A penalty at neutral ice. And it gives Pro Hockey an opportunity here as the Pro Hockey squad trying to put this one away early if they can. Fed back to the left point. There's a drive and knocked down. That one coming off of the stick of Randall, who herself has been in the penalty box today. A shot and a goal. Klein scores from a tough angle. 4:39 time of the goal, and a great feed from below the goal line. That is the first power play goal for either side. It comes in Pro Hockey's fourth attempt, the seventh power play overall for the game. And Klein, with her second point of the contest, she now has 8 goals and 11 points through less than 4 games. 5-1 the score, Pro Hockey on top. They'll feed it over for Shin. Rising shot up and over the crossbar, and the netminder rising herself, hoping to get a piece of it, but unnecessarily, as it was just off the mark. Pro Hockey will feed that around the bend. Wu gives a couple of taps at it. Backhand pass, and that nearly found McLaughlin. Wu and McIntosh get tangled up with one another. Kept in at Western Select's left point by Petrino. Outlet pass. Woo, did she get a piece of it? No, she did not. And despite the fact that she had the inside track, that's not how icing at this level is determined. There is no you win the race and therefore you keep the play alive. It's an automatic icing, and that will bring it back down into the west end of the rink, the side that Pro Hockey currently defends. This will kick out to Swan. Helm with that fantastic feed to Klein. And now here comes McLaughlin. She'll race down and get there in time. Gets partially tangled up, but is able to fight through that contact and play on. And then the other assist going to Viskovitz, who leads her squad with 3 points on the game. Martin right into the chest of the netminder Rivera, who is down ready in the butterfly to make the stop. And that is Viscovitz's first that was not a primary. So when you kind of look at how this game is developed, Klein and a Helm, each with a goal and an assist, and each assisting on the other's goal. Klein with the power play goal, Helm with the power play assist. And then Viscovitz with 3 points, all apples. Those three certainly making a case for themselves as the player of the game, and all three of them on the same line and starting. So obviously pro hockey coaching staff putting the players out there first that have done the most damage to this point. Poked deep and tracked down by Stock. Pro hockey looking to break out. Burkett slides over to the right side and finds an open Minor. Backed up by El Gasso. Now over for Witkin. Witkin has a player ahead. It's Dowd. Dowd will hold up and let Witkin gain the zone first. Centering pass, down the intended target, Swan. Sniffed that out, smelled blood in the water, and found that. This will be thrown all the way down, and not going to be able to get there in time is Stock. 12:35 left to go in period number 3, and we will have an icing that will bring the play back down into pro hockey's end. Francesca Amico at the dot, wins that back. And Petrino had to be careful there as she had a little bit of room to maneuver, but didn't want to bring the puck over the line and force everybody else to have to tag up. Here's Shin. Centering pass out front of the backhand, handled by Pro Hockey. They'll float this ahead. Giving chase, Klein alongside Helm. Centering pass out front, big stop by the netminder Rivera on Helm. They get it out front, and Helm denied point blank range. 12:07 left here in period number 3, and Western Selects know they're up against it, a tall hill to climb, but no give up in this squad. And you saw there the netminer come up with arguably perhaps the save of the game. Out front to Helm. Helm tries to go backdoor to Klein and does. Great play finished off by Jillian Klein. Time of the goal, 8:05. And I think this is going to be the exact same stat line as the last one. 22 from 98 and 13. The only thing I'm not 100% sure on is couldn't see who made the pass in the corner as the secondary assist, but it's definitely going to be Klein from Helm. But I think Viscovitz is going to get the secondary assist once again. It is indeed Viscovitz with the secondary assist. Helm picks that off with the shaft of her twig and plays it deep. Centering pass out front, giving a poke at it was Viscovitz. And then they'll get at it as she felt entitled to go for the loose puck. The whistle was actually blown a little bit early. And with the loose puck there, I don't think that she did anything egregious. They will call roughing on her. And I guess what I should say there is the initial play, I didn't think that it was, sometimes you'll see somebody hacking and whacking away at a goaltender well after the whistle. Her poke was either at or maybe even slightly before the whistle. They're going to get her for the after the whistle antics. Meanwhile, The clock does run with the goal differential being 5. So 10.5 minutes left to go in period number 3. Gomez feeds that ahead, and a great job there chopping that out of midair was Rotman. Claire Rotman keeps that play alive. Otherwise, that would have gone to pro hockey, and it would have been an easy enough exit out of the zone, especially because they don't need to worry about icing. Gomez throws a shot that kicks off of Martin, comes out to neutral ice. Here's Hermanson. Hermanson floats it over to Gomez. Actually, that's Rotman. I was going to say, had enough where Gomez was going to be the first one there, but it's another teammate, Rotman, getting onto it. Gillis turns the corner, waits, has Gomez instead, fires, and then Rotman trying to get out of the way and at the same time take the netminder's eyes away and create a screen. 70 seconds left to go on the penalty to Viskovitz. Gomez will retreat, as does Hermanson, as McIntosh comes across shorthanded. Gillis strips it from her. Rotman kicks it to herself. Elects to go over to the right side. A good idea, as pro hockey was starting to float over to the left side, at least as Western Select sees it. 2/3 of the penalty gone. Amico disrupts Martin. This will kick out to neutral ice. Just in front of the pro hockey bench. Stick save made by the netminder, who kind of uses both the stick and then the pad to kick it out. 25 seconds left on the power play advantage. And we are inside of 9 minutes left in the contest. 8:54 is that pass back for Chloe Julian. Looked like Jelinek was going to lose an edge there for a moment, but regained her composure. 3 seconds left on the power play. Here's Shin. Shin comes in with Amico. Shin snaps a shot. It kicks out to Dowd. Dowd is denied. Right pad save. And then they'll feed it ahead to Swan. Swan didn't track it immediately, but we'll give chase. Again, 5-on-5 we skate. 6-1 the score. Floats out to the red line. Burkett to Swan. Swan is initially stopped by Julian, but kicks it ahead. Minor gets tangled up behind the goal line with Payne. Shin backhands it ahead for Dowd. Bridget Dowd is stymied, fights back. McLaughlin now with it, fires a shot. Glove save made by the netminder, who then knocked it right in front of her, and then she covered up with the pads. Looked into the glove to see if it was there, as she wasn't 100% sure, but did the right thing in dropping down immediately. Sometimes it's that feel. You're not quite sure where the puck is, but you've played the position long enough to have an educated guess. That's exactly how the puck was covered up by the netminder. Klein in the slot, looking for a hat trick. Couldn't get the shot off. Here's Burkett. Offers it up towards the net. Petrino touches it on, and then an exchange. The netminder tried to feed that to a teammate. They weren't on the same page, and Viskovitz nearly took advantage. That gets caught up in the skates of the official, but a good job by the official being on the outside of that blue line, because not much you can do. If it gets caught up with you, you'd like to affect the play as little as possible, and the last thing that he wanted to do was inadvertently keep the zone for pro hockey. So officials can't be perfect, but in the right position there, and because of that, it didn't affect the play too much. Here's pro hockey looking to bake out of the zone. Klein got a touch on it, and it's not too often you can say that she got a piece of it but didn't come away with it. Here's Gillis snapping a shot, and I think that was actually the shaft of the stick, just by the sound of it, making that stop, not the blocker, although it could again have been both, as we've said earlier, hearing some saves Rivera made where it sounded like a stick but might have been leg pad as well. Here's Minor slaloming through a sea of bodies. Centering pass broken up nicely. Here's pro hockey, and Stock gets it across to Klein. Klein with a tough angle bid, and then her second effort tries to feed it into the slot, fought off by Rivera. Doesn't go down as a save, but preventing the shot on goal just as important as stopping one. Dowd had that one kick off her skate. Klein takes advantage. Stock spins and will get tangled up below the goal line with Gomez. Stock still with it, dispossessed of it, and they'll float it. Sometimes you don't always have to hit a teammate right in the tape. You just play it to some soft ice and ice that you know your team is going to skate onto first. It's exactly what she did, particularly being hounded in her own defensive third. 5:22 left to go. 6-1 the score, 32-13 shots on goal here in period number 3, which has been dominated by Pro Hockey, as they have outshot their opposition 11-1. Here's Stock. Stock at the red line. Wu spins, feeds it ahead. Jelinek makes the D-to-D pass for Gomez. Gomez kicks it off of McIntosh's skate and forces it forward for Western Selects. On the backhand is Gomez. Bounced up, but dealing with Amico. Second plan for Randall is to swing it around the bend, and does. Here comes McIntosh. McIntosh with a rising shot up and over the crossbar and off the glass. We're going to have a penalty drawn here by Helm with 4:22 when the whistle was blown. It'll be probably under 4 by the time the puck is dropped. Body checking the call on Amico. And we will have power play number 5 for Pro Hockey. Unsuccessful in their first 3 attempts, but the last time they had a player advantage, they scored at 4:39 gone in the third, and that was Klein from Helm and Viskovitz. Farrago keeps it alive at the point. It was 3:58 remaining on the clock when the power play started. Short-handed, circling the wagon, was Kenna Gillis. Rimmed around, and Pro Hockey obviously would love to find a scoring opportunity, see if they can't get a power play tally here, but obviously with the score what it is at 6-1, the most important thing for them is just not give up any scoring opportunities the other way. Last thing you want to do with a comfortable lead late in the game is give one up. More in this situation, it's more of a, hey, let's try to just kill some valuable time, and they can. If the score remains 6-1 after the power play expires, that'll eat up half of the time Western Selects has left. Couple of attempts out front, getting tangled up with the goaltender's stick in her skates, and Rivera gets it right back. Centering pass, Rivera makes the stop without a stick and then covers up. Official Johnny on the spot to get in there and make sure no more damage comes, no worse for the wear. By the time this puck is dropped, we'll be pretty close to the penalty expiring that was called on Amico. Draw comes to the glove side, and that's exactly where we're at. She's actually free now, but can't go until the puck is dropped. There's the puck. There's the exchange. And a left pad save by the netminder. Do give the music director there a little bit of leniency. You might say, well, that song went clear after the whistle had been dropped. But he's also the penalty box operator. So, in other words, he had more pressing issues, which was allowing Francesco Amico to get out as soon as her sentence had expired. Backhanded up to Rotman. Rotman skates back to it and floats it out to open neutral ice. Here's Williams. Williams with it. Dishes off and just misses Green. Pro Hockey will look to go the other way with it. McLaughlin kicks that to Swan. Swan skates onto it. Fires a low shot. Rivera fights it off. 65 seconds left in the period. 6-1 the score. Pro Hockey on top. Gasso with a shot. Rivera makes the stop. And Gasso frustrated there, as it looks like Pro Hockey is going to roll out 5 fresh bodies for what could likely be the last shift of the contest. We are now set. 36 seconds left on the clock when the puck is dropped here. Stock. One move too many as Western Selects defends her last effort. Gillis will come away with it. Gillis had it stripped away, stolen over. Viskovits. 4 apples in the game. Still looking for a goal. Stock out there with her. Burkett is pressured by Dowd. Klein comes away with it. Finds a player over on the left side. It's Viskovits. And that is going to do it. A 6-1 victory for Pro Hockey in the third period. 53 seconds in, they get a goal. Jacqueline Gassot from Bella Viskovits. Then at 4:39, a power play goal. Jillian Klein from Mayhelm and Viskovits. And then same scoring as that second to last one as the last one, but this one 8:05 and an even strength goal rather than a power play goal. Again, it is Klein from Helm and Viskovits. So with the 6-1 victory, Pro Hockey moves on to a record of 4-0-0-0. They win Pool B and will play tomorrow morning back here at Rink 5 at 10:45 with the winner of Pool A. Pool play ends for Western Selects with a record of 0-3-1-0 with the victory coming in overtime, and we'll have to see where that puts them in Pool B, who their opponent is and who they play. For myself and for Tom Ritchie, our engineer, producer, and camera operator, we thank you for tuning in one final time. Pro Hockey 6, Western Selects 1. You've been watching the 2023 North American Female Elite Showcase right here on Youth Hockey Hub. Have a fantastic day.